see we're running ads now before the stream starts.
Go ahead, George. Now that Sean's ruined it, but go ahead.
Sorry.
Because he couldn't keep his goddamn mouth shut.
We're making money off these poor suckers watching this. I mean, hello everyone, and welcome to the Outpost Frequencies from the Last Movie Outpost.
Buy our merch.
Please like and subscribe because we are very much about making money now. You can't see this, but below the desk, I've got nothing but underpants on. Anyway, welcome to this week's live stream, which has been one of our best openings ever. Alex is already here. Guys, hi guys, 6 out of 10 for Prey. Brilliant, the end. Well, thanks for joining us.
See you guys next week. Don't forget to hit that like button.
Today,
what more can be said? 6 out of 10. Yeah, that gets me right here. 6.
Eggy is not here because he is getting sunburnt in some European country somewhere.
Where exactly is he? The FBI needs to know for the drone strike.
He's in Turkey, which means he should be in Turkish prison by now.
I thought he was joking when he said Turkey a couple weeks ago because I was like, is that a joke? Who goes to Turkey?
Oh, yeah, it's Europeans. They go to Turkey and all kinds of
I had a Dubai and all kinds.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would you even go in Europe if you had a choice? That's weird, man.
No, some of the places in Europe are all right.
Come on. I don't know what's happening, guys. I think we're live streaming, but I am not able to actually, I'm not actually able to talk to them. It's like the Skype is gone. I'm going to try hanging up. You guys can see me? Is it just me? Can you see me? Okay. Yep, there it goes. Let me rejoin the.
There he is.
Are you guys
We're
back?
frozen on you. Yeah, we're frozen on YouTube and the delay here, but
no, I think I got everybody back. So,
Europe is great, and we love everyone in Europe.
And we did not make a Auschwitz joke at all while we were off the air.
You liars.
It was only a little one. It was quite good. So. Right, yeah, so we are talking
Wait a minute. Let's see what chat says. Matt Inc., are we back? Is everything back? We got to wait for the
Unfreeze them, that's just cool. Great.
Looks like it.
Right, okay. He says we're okay.
Video is interlaced, but interlaced video is not supported. What? Good connection.
Anyway.
Well, Yoda fixes that. We have been, we're going to be talking about, like I say, Prey came out on Friday, and it has been doing quite well because it's been received quite well. One person has said it's better than the original Predator, but I've blocked that person now.
That person has been put to death.
That person has had his spine ripped out and his with his skull still attached. So yeah, we've all seen Prey. What did you guys make of it? My review's up online. What do you guys make of it?
Are we waiting to the second hour to discuss that, or do you guys not want to talk about the DCU news and all that bullshit?
No, we'll do Prey first.
Oh, okay.
We did DC the other day. It's boring.
I agree with that.
They're all being flushed down the toilet at the end.
I do want to talk about the Zaslav is becoming my hero. That's all.
Yeah, I thought that you would want to touch on that before we get started. So
I have joined Ezra Miller's cult, so which is good.
Oh, what's the benefit?
Start with Prey. Start with Prey.
Fine, we'll get to the cult.
You're freaking out the audience, man. Come on.
I've got one of my testicles in a jar. I've got to send it to Ezra Miller so I can be fully inducted into it.
All right.
Anyway, Prey. So yeah, what do you guys make of it?
Go ahead, Sean.
Look,
I'm gonna get a coffee. You go ahead.
I agreed with your write up on it. I think it's a 3.5 out of 5. I know there's a lot of people in the comments so that didn't agree with us on that, but that is it woke a little, maybe a little bit, but I think there's a distinction. I think there's the girl power, and then there's woke, and they sometimes can be mutually exclusive. And I think this has got a little bit of, roll your eyes, girl power.
I
We
mean,
all
with
hate
it,
women. We all hate women here, right? So we
same
get
with
it.
Indians.
And you know what? I want to change the name of that because lately I've been seeing on the internet, everybody refers to the South and their civil wars. Losers, losers. We can't have statues of losers. And so I've decided that since we took the country from the indigenous, I'm going to start referring to them as the indigenous losers. And I don't think that will cause any kind of controversy at all.
Can't hang on, just
It's I mean, if you're the
can't see anything
loser,
wrong with that.
if you're the loser, you're the loser, right? I mean, it's only factually accurate. They were indigenous and they're the losers, so indigenous losers.
You can't be factually accurate. That doesn't mean anything. Goodness me.
So I would appreciate it if at least the end of this stream, I would like for you to refer to them as the indigenous losers. Anyway.
With it, I mean, like you say, the problem is that we were just literally talking about how you see kind of woke everywhere, and that's kind of the annoying thing. Whereas obviously she lived in a hierarchy of the men were hunter-gatherers and the women stayed home and looked after the kids and did the cooking. You can't change that. There's no point in sort of going, well, that's not how the Indians. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it was real. In fact, they were hard. They would have been a lot harsher on her than what we've seen. Although they did not shy away with, they downplayed a little.
They kicked the crap out of her.
They did. Unfortunately, we didn't get a rape scene, but they did beat her. But
a very different movie.
She was clear. Like Critical Drinker was complaining about, it was like, listen, she was very clever. That was established. She had a lot of skills. She did not kill the predator on her own, with no, like the predator took damage from as soon as it landed. We see it's bit by a snake. It gets into it with a wolf. It damn near probably got killed from the bear. It's wounded multiple times from her brother, the other Indian warriors, the French even, I think, hurt it a little bit. And so I don't think it was unreasonable. And she defeated it with sort of like clever traps and, quick thinking. Now, that I don't think that I thought it was very clever that they foreshadowed how and it's the whole thing's foreshadowed. She defeats the mount. Spoilers, by the way. The mountain lion at the beginning. She wounds it, and then it hurts her, takes her out of action, and her brother finishes it off later. I thought it was a very neat little foreshadow that her brother, the other guys wound Predator so much, and then she's able to finish it off in the end. It's a little, I thought it was a neat little reversal of that. I didn't find it to be, oh my God, the 98-pound woman beats this. Critical Drinker was even like, she was taking hits from it that would. I was like, yeah, and so did Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he didn't, If you can fight a bear, I don't care how big Arnold Schwarzenegger is. If you can defeat a bear with your bare hands, the predator, if it can beat a bear up, Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't stand a chance either. So that's a little retarded to put that out.
Sean, but that's about plausibility. I mean, she looks so small. She looks like she could break in half if you sneezed on her wrong.
Yeah, but she doesn't take any kind of direct hit. It doesn't.
No, not really.
And it's very wounded by that. And listen, I'm just saying it's not. We're talking about plausibility in a movie where an alien comes down to hunt people with sci-fi weapons. By the way, I just want to keep that in mind.
An invisible alien.
And that can turn invisible. But
no. Let's write down all the facts and details and work it out properly.
So I think that it was hurt a lot, and I think they set that up, and it made it. It was not, Mary Sued. I don't think. Maybe to some people, but I thought. And listen, I went into the movie wanting to be like, oh, this is going to be, woman power woke bullshit, but it really was. Like I said to these guys before we started, the start of the movie, we see the Predator ship, and it's the same design as they used in the Dark Horse comics, Predator comics. And I said, okay, this is going to be inspired by that. And I thought that, well, I will look at it as a comic book story where, dumb, a little bit absurd and improbable things can happen in a comic book. And we read that and we're like, oh, yeah, man. So I didn't think
it was entertaining.
Well, the dialogue was one So of course I'm going to nitpick some of the weapon stuff, but I'll pass that because I know that bores everybody. The dialogue, there was some dumb things where she's like, the brother tells her, "I got this." There's too they spoke too modern. That was a little.
That was my problem with it. They spoke. I understand they're speaking Comanche to each other, and so the stylistic choice is like, if you're speaking your own language, you're going to sound normal and
you're
natural.
not going to sound like you're from 2022.
There is a version online which is all done in Comanche.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch that either.
I'm intrigued by that, I must admit.
I'm just saying that there were times where first of all, she's the whitest looking Indian I've ever seen. She looks
really
like
is Listen, Yoda, we decided this while you were off screen. They're not Indians now. They are indigenous losers because they lost the country, much like the South lost the Civil War, and I'm called a loser all the time for that. So I think it's only fair that because they lost the country, they are indigenous. So please refer to them as that going forward.
At least they seem to be more. I mean, guys, if you think that Indians or American Indians, whatever you want to call them,
indigenous loser,
if you think they weren't wiping out each other to the last baby for hundreds of years before we got here, you're out of your mind. They were horrible to each other.
I imagine before like all the Spanish arrived there and took hold of the land and everything else. Yes, they all skipped around happily and lived in nature, and dodos were plentiful and all that kind
of stuff.
Indian
no, they were vicious, and they couldn't even invent the wheel. So you know what, you deserve to lose.
Just on that point, here's a question then. Because just while I think about it, how do you think Prey would have played out if it was the Indians from Bone Tomahawk?
Oh, I'd been. I'd love to have seen that.
It'd probably been more interesting.
That would be a good movie.
The Predator would have been the hero, the good guy in that.
Well, I think that's my problem with it is that I don't, I agree with you, Sean, as far as was it overly woke. The only thing I saw that was woke, if you want to call it that, was the French trappers were cartoons. They were
they're French, so it's okay to
Yeah, I know that was their hedge, but they're really just white colonizers, and we all look the same to the woke, those racists. So it's just they were just cartoony in their, it reminded me of like when in Dances with Wolves when the Union soldiers came and they were just so cruel. It's like you're supposed to hate them, It's like the puppy killing in John Wick. I mean, like we get it.
Sorry to interrupt there, but I've got to bring up the comments here. Jay has just said, "Look at those sexy beasts live on a Sunday." All right.
What's he watching?
I don't know.
Probably
football. I think women's volleyball's on.
There were times where just her mannerisms and the way she spoke, like you said, it wasn't just the way she spoke; it was like expressions and
body language,
and all that just felt way too 2022 than it did,
But that's not woke.
17, 19. No, it's not woke.
Bad.
That's not woke. That's just bad choice.
Yeah,
and it just takes me out of the movie. And then it's my turn now. God.
Shut up, Phil. Jesus.
I've been on the phone. I've been on Skype with him for an hour listening about bloody Star Trek. Go on then, Yoda. Bore me more.
That's what I'm here for. So I was like, okay, the French thing was stupid, and the characters just weren't compelling. Like I don't find myself going, I can't wait to watch this again. I will put in the original Predator because it's just so ridiculous and so over the top, and the characters are so fun and interesting. There was everybody was either boring or they did something that you went, what do you like? Did you just walk out of a mall with this attitude? Go away. Yeah. So there's nothing compelling me to go watch it again. It's not like what we thought it would be. It's not what we thought it would be. But that doesn't mean that it's awesome. I'm not going to be putting this in and watching it.
It's not what the advertising made it out like it was going to be.
No. I think the whole advertising team were probably on that woke society of, they're all a bunch of blue hairs are like, we've really got to push this female thing, and everything else, where it just that because again, I went into it expecting that, but then it didn't happen. So I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed the actual movie.
So let me get back to what Sean was trying to bring up before we got on the air, and listening to that reaction, Bill, is we are reacting to this as if is it trying to piss me off or is it not trying to piss me off? And it used to be I just went into the movie going, is this going to be fun or, am I going to like it or not? I never, these kinds of thoughts never really entered into my head.
The stupid thing about that is there are people out there who specifically will just be triggered by whatever. They will go to a movie and they will be triggered by whatever it is.
On both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, and that's what I was just going to say is it's kind of, when I watch like a new Star Wars series or whatever, I am literally sat there thinking, right, what's going to piss me off in this? And then that's just it's kind of heartbreaking in a way because it's kind of...
I feel like it's poisoned the well of all entertainment. I can't sit down and watch something and think... that my immediate thought is, how are they going to ruin this? What modern day politics are they going to put in there? Or even if they don't, is it just going to be stupid? It's like, I feel like the well is poisoned now every single time that I watch, especially an IP that is known,
I watched the other day Play Misty for Me, which I'd never seen before. And Clint Eastwood's manager of the radio station, everything else, was the black guy. And even I thought, token black guy. And it was just like, seriously? Because this was made in like 1971 or something or other. And I'm thinking, no, it wasn't. This was just, part of the... But you can't help going in, even watching old movies and thinking to yourself, token woman, female character, blah, blah, blah. And, it's kind of a shame that, like you say, we have been conditioned like that by modern entertainment.
Woke, buddy. We just don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're reverse woke.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same effect. We can't enjoy anything.
I've had at least two of my friends say to me with Obi-Wan, if you just shut your brain off and enjoyed it, you'd have enjoyed it. But I couldn't because it was Disney and I knew it was going to piss me off. I'm going into Andor, the same thing. I keep thinking, how are they going to piss me off now? And I just keep thinking, if you forget all that, it might actually be quite good and you might actually enjoy it. But I mean,
let's not get carried away. There are some things that we know are not this Prey, we thought it would be. There's some things that that it's going to be, and it's going to be over the top. You know what I'm saying? So it's not.
My point is, Sean, is that.
But yes, they have ruined.
It's like I have to condition myself to try to enjoy it. Yeah. It's like work to unchain my brain. It's okay. Before you freak out, make sure it's like you have to go through all these thought exercises now to make sure that you're going into it not all prejudiced against it or for it because of all the outside world crap that is leaked into all this.
Can you remember when you were like a teenager or younger, you were stood in the line at a cinema waiting to get in? And just like the excitement, you're going to buy some sweets. And like I say, you're going into a movie and just thinking, this movie's got like a cool car in it. And apparently they travel back in time. Oh, I can't wait to see it. And that was just your thought process. As opposed to, like I say, with this, I was going into it thinking this is going to be woke and preachy and blah, blah, blah and everything else. And then, it wasn't. So I was surprised. But if it was, I would have just been online going, right, here we go. I mean, a classic example of that is the fact that I reviewed They, Them. And that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just go into these movies just with dread rather than excitement. I want it to be good, but you when you see them doing, it's going to be the Native Americans, so you immediately start prejudicing yourself against it. It's a female American Indian. Well, there's a lot of box checked. This is going to suck. That's not
how are they
fair.
going to work in slavery?
Well, they worked in colonization. I wasn't expecting to see white guys in it.
Yeah. How are they going to get her in a wheelchair? That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
How did she dye her hair neon violet.
You guys joke, but I mean, really, that's what you're thinking when you saw the trailer, wasn't it? And it's like, so we're prejudiced. We're already having. It's not how you should be. It's not a positive or a healthy way to go into a movie.
I think the reflection of this is best illustrated by reading the comments of Phil's review.
Bring them up.
Okay, doke.
Let's answer a few of these, because I thought, it sounds like they were pretty.
I almost felt resentful when I was reading the comments because guys just did not want to hear it that it wasn't as bad and I was like, man, do you guys come here because you just want to hear us complain about wokeism? Because that's not what I want to do. Yeah, I mean we do, but that's not what I.
Well,
none of us
I
want
will
to do that.
If it's truthful.
Yeah,
I try to always go from a place of truth. This is why I'm struggling with this kind of stuff, because it's like I do not want to just go. I don't want to be the equivalent of Orange Man bad, all Disney bad, all movie bad, all thing woke. I don't want to be that way. I think it's a lazy way of thinking, and it certainly doesn't make anything fun. I don't want to be as miserable as these people,
I tell you what, here's something else I've noticed that's come out of this too, is that I think it's really, if you have some real critical thinking skills, to me, this movie kind of starts to shed a little light on a lot of YouTube movie review and culture commenter grifters that are they're all over it. And it's like, man, like, it's just like, I don't know how to describe it without us probably getting ourselves canceled amongst our supposed, guys that think like us. But I've seen a lot of stuff that they weren't even going to discuss it they weren't even going to entertain the thought that it might not be as bad.
One of the comments was, which I did reply to. He said, "I'm at the point where everything is made just for the sake of the message. Is an automatic skip, even if it accidentally ends up being watchable. That's the only way to stop this crap going on." And
I agree with that, but it's not this. I don't think this was accidentally watchable.
No, it was just, I mean, maybe there are still filmmakers out there who are just trying to make a decent movie, and probably they've got the producers on their back saying, no, you got to do this and you got to do this.
Yeah, if you want to make this movie, put a little bit of it in.
If they had made this in 1995, before all this nonsense had really, I mean, okay, people say, oh, it was like that in the college. Okay, whatever. In the entertainment world, it was not like this at all. And they had said, we're going to do, because we had done Predator in the Jungle, and then we did one in the city. We're going to do one in the 1800s. And in fact, we're going to bring back that gun from... That didn't make any sense, because it's like the Predator gave him the gun, so why does he have the gun?
Well, because there's obviously a setup for a sequel.
They're going to go, the sequel is they're going to go massacre the Indians, and that'll be it. 20-minute short film.
The sequel is, it turns out that one of the other Predators, that was a gift that he got from somebody else, and he's giving it away, so they've got to go back and get it.
Yeah, re-gifting. No, I see a setup for... if you're familiar with the original Alien versus Predator comic book, I see this girl becoming the movie version of the Japanese girl in the AVP comic, and I could see her joining she wants to be a hunter. They come down because one of them died. That's what they do, if you follow these, and they might, she might join up with them and become part of the tribe, and then it gets passed on. I could see. I mean, I could very easily see it turn into something that's not, Custer's, the Wounded Knee or something.
Back to my point before I digress, like I normally do. If we had seen this as the Predator 3 in 1995, they said we're going to set it 300 years ago with the American Indians, we probably all would have went, that's an interesting premise. That sounds like fun, And now, because we've been so run over by the Hollywood left and all their nonsense,
radicalized.
We've been Last Jedi'd. It's kind of like it's hard for me to enjoy these things because I've constantly got my radar up, which I hate. I don't like this. I don't like being like this.
You're gaydar.
No, it's wokedar.
Wokedar, yeah.
Gaydar, woke is gay and woke.
No, that's a subset of it because there's so many other groups,
Yeah.
All the male. This is Madding. He said all the male natives look the same.
Disavow.
I watched a brother die like about 4 times.
That's bigoted and racist.
I didn't think they were that bad.
Honestly, I was having trouble. It's like, oh, is that her brother died? And it's like, oh no, wait, that's her brother. Oh wait, no, he died too. I did like that they that in the Predator universe, human beings are basically just blood balloons waiting to be popped to release their fine red mist.
Yeah. And the bear as well. When he picked the bear up and then just covered himself in the blood, it was kind of like,
that was a great moment.
Yeah, I know, but it was like, what are you doing? You know, that's going to be you'll never get that out of your helmet, love.
that over the top shit is the stuff I liked.
Me too. That's what I like. You know, that and the. By the way, did you guys like the Predator design? I like the helmet, but I didn't like that they made him like his body had a very Native American tone. It's like just make him a regular
face didn't look right.
Predator. Yeah, his face did not look like the same species that we're used to either.
I always thought that in the original Predator, he wore the mask because he couldn't breathe. Whereas this one just seemed to be like a front part of the helmet, but he was breathing quite normally.
Well, no, it does stuff like record, and it helps like tame their vision a little bit and gives them the ability to switch it, and it aims their weapons and so. And yeah, they can breathe air, but like it's like you're a little high up. You need a little oxygen help to whatever it is they breathe. That's like they can breathe Earth's air, but it's not like as fulfilling as just like if you're at altitude or something.
Well, it also helped. If I remember right, it helped with the vision because without it, like when he had it on, things were blue with the heat.
Yeah, too much. Yeah,
it turned it off. Everything went red on him.
Yeah, too much heat vision without it.
It would be interesting. I think if a predator chased me, his heat vision will be triggered by my elbows, shoulders, and knees heating up as soon as I started running.
Like you can run. Don't
yeah, exactly.
For all 25 yards. For 25 yards.
But one thing I disagreed with the Drinker on, he's like, why didn't he have his shoulder plasma blaster?
Well, because he wanted to hunt like this. Yeah, I mean,
it's 300 years ago. I mean, maybe they just didn't have those.
Technology hadn't moved on enough.
And he's like, well, that's crazy if they have spaceships. I'm like, yeah, because those are two different technologies.
I mean, the Predators have different personalities, and I thought it was pretty obvious that it wanted to come down and hunt as close to primitive as. You know what I mean?
I personally, I was like, it just didn't bother me.
That was a stupid thing to pick at.
Yeah, but
they are despite the fact that they're supposedly the bad guy, they still are kind of like sportsmen, right? They're not going to use something way overpowered for the game, right? You know what I mean? You don't go out and shoot at rabbits with a 50 caliber anti-tank, right? Well, somebody like me might, but somebody that's a sportsman wouldn't. But that's a dumb European thing to say from him. He needs to take a few swigs and think about that.
Keep reading the comments there.
Right. Okay.
We'll get to the Easter egg. We'll get to the Easter eggs, Madding. Don't worry.
Bullshit on it being the Predator, obviously. It's but it's far better than the recent pile of shit that was done by Shane Black.
That's very true.
I need to visit Predators again.
No, you don't.
No, because I remember it being all right. Shane Black is a bellend. Blah, 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 blah.
That's probably true.
I did like the setup with the mud, with the swamp.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. That's the Easter egg. We'll hit on those when we're done with the comments because I got a few things to say about that stuff.
Father G said it was pretty woke. The 2 women characters were strong, wise, and brave. The white men were all assholes, of course, beating helpless women and using them as bait, as I suspected. The Predator is the most resilient predator I've ever seen, and yet a girl can tear off one of its mandibles off and stab him with it. Yeah, right. Naturally, he can take down the 15 armed men with the physical struggles against, then physically struggles against a girl who's 5'10", 105 pounds.
First of all, there's only one woman character. The other ones are mom, and she really doesn't do shit.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff, the Predator got shot in the face multiple times with musket rifles. Who says his mandible wasn't already a little broke?
That's right. He did take one in the back of the head, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that was a sly way to do it. Sneak up behind him, shoot him in the back of the head. Yeah, that's what I would expect a woman to be able to do.
Just like I did to my uncle.
I mean, I'm not. You said we weren't going to say anything incriminating on this.
Whoops. What's the statute of limitations on murder?
I don't think there is one.
Oh, shit.
Well, in Kentucky, maybe.
Anyway, move on. That was just a joke.
We hope.
Disclaimer, that was a joke.
Yeah.
If anybody from the legal community is watching.
I think the Predator was one of the worst of them. They were talking about Shane Black's one. Boring.
I still haven't seen the 2010 one. Predators?
It's pretty good. But talk about woke. Now, it's just full of diversity. I mean, you got Mexican, you got Japanese, you got a Jewish woman, you got a Jewish guy who is standing in for a regular.
They all turn into the same fine red mist.
Yeah, they do.
Hang on a minute. I'm getting confused now. The Predator, is that the one which was set on Earth?
Yes.
Yes. Predator.
Right, okay. Right. Predators is what I was thinking of as the one that I quite liked. Right.
I did like that one too. Yeah, I like that one too.
That one was all right. Right. No, sorry. Yes. The Predator was terrible. I do fully remember that now.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like I say, I was thinking I completely and utterly forgot that one existed. That's how bad it was. GC said, Gigantic Kahuna said how nice it was to see the 20th Century Fox logo, which was. It was very nice to see that.
It doesn't take much to please him, does it?
Yeah. Yay, corporation! Yay!
Yeah.
He's the guy in the audience reactions cheering corporation.
Was that a callback to that? Yeah, I was going to say, was that a joke? I hope he was a joke. I hope
we love you, GC.
The Mothman said, suddenly I feel like watering a plant. Obviously saying that I had been paid off. No, I'm still doing this live on a Sunday, so I didn't get bloody paid off, did I? Seriously, though.
That hurts. That kind of hurts.
There's nothing of interest here. The Hunter had enough cool tricks to sustain one 90-minute Arnold movie. Since then, I am sick of characters being surprised by those tricks when they have all been used before.
Well, the characters are all dead. They don't really get to see the next Predator movie.
I don't remember Arnie traveling back in time and then giving her tips.
Yeah.
Records were sketchy from 1719 and in wild America for some reason.
Hello to Veruca Salt, by the way, because she's just joined us.
Hello.
So yeah, like I say again, I mean, no, it wasn't a plan. I do try to. I mean, let's just be clear on this: we are never given anything from any movie company to say anything good. Yeah, unfortunately,
I would sell out in a second. You give me enough money, I will go woke as hell.
Honestly, give me a couple of Kit Kats, and I will say how great Disney is and what a wonderful job they've done with Star Wars.
You slut.
Imagine what he would give up in prison for like a chocolate bar.
I know. I want actual cash before I go woke.
Yeah,
you just want a Kit Kat.
No, it's really tough in prison. A friend of mine was in there. It said the other day he had to pay 3 packets of fags just for a packet of fags, and not fags, cigarettes. Obviously, I should have said, but yeah, no, I'm definitely not a plan. So there was a young fragile girl is adept at throwing axes. She's a fantasy imagined in the mind of an inept social justice warrior, a Mary Sue, and the Predator is still grounded in science fiction. He's a man with an advanced military tech and can easily dispose of most targets. This is exactly what everyone said it would be. Nothing has changed, and it still sucks ass.
There is a point to be made. Like, if you thought the Ewoks defeating the Empire was stupid, then you shouldn't be so awesome about this Predator movie. Okay, you got a point there.
Like I said, the Predator in this movie takes a hell of a lot of damage before she gets to even.
I don't mind the Ewoks myself.
Because her brother turns up and cuts its arm off at one point. So I mean, she is fighting it literally with one arm and quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, a bear mauled the hell out of it. It got shot in the back of the head. It got shot by the Frenchies. It's been beat to hell. I don't see that it's like. I mean, it's. I think they set it up to make it at least somewhat viable. I don't think it's not like she went out there this chainsaw of a creature that has in perfect health, and then she just like.
I suppose the problem is they couldn't have had it with a bunch of Native Americans losers, whatever you wanted to call them, but you couldn't. Losers. And indigenous losers, you couldn't have had them like that because that would have just been a remake of what the original movie was. Yeah. If it was just a bunch of blokes fighting them out and he's taking them out one by one, at least they kind of had this, girl twist on it. Somebody made the comment where he said about Mary Sue, and he said, "You mean a Mary Sue, as in like Sioux Indian," which was quite a good joke.
Matt Ink says the brother does not cut his arm off. The predator does get his arm cut off. Yes, it does.
Yeah, he does. It's his own arm off.
Oh, that's right. He cuts his own arm off when he gets trapped in a tree. Foreshadowed by her comment about the beaver chewing its own leg off. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember I thought she had one of his weapons, like the spear,
no, it goes.
And that's how she hit the predator's arm off. Is that what?
No, it's very confusing if you're. Yeah, no, he goes to hit her with his two arm blades, and they get stuck in a tree, and he can't pull loose, and she's getting ready to, give him the coup de grace, and he takes that shield and cuts his own arm off so he can get away to.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's
happened. Sorry, because the brother rides around her, and
this is where my problem with the movie is in the details.
Wait a minute. There's a bigger problem here. You guys did not laugh at my reference of Bugs Bunny saying coup de grace instead of coup de grace.
That was an intentional choice on my part.
I thought you were having a stroke. Coup de grace.
You two are not sophisticated as I thought you were.
Sure, you go with that. The problem with the movie is the plot is generally okay. Like things happen and it leads to other things, and I'm not really upset by any of that. I don't feel like the characters make dumb choices. It's in the details. Like women in Native American tribes, they were not hunting or doing any of that stuff. That's a lot of horse shit. Life was too hard, and it just didn't work that way.
And they certainly weren't as pretty as her.
Yeah, and secondly, they didn't talk the way they spoke to each other. The modern colloquialisms that didn't work. And then some of the action, like you just pointed out, it's like I'm trying to figure out what happened there, and we didn't realize that he cut his own arm off and that kind of stuff. And then I don't know, they just weren't memorable enough as characters to really register. I think Maddie is not all that far off. Was like, oh, and I didn't know that. I kept thinking that was his brother, except for the one guy with the mohawk. I knew that wasn't it. But they didn't differentiate some of the warriors enough to know which one. Like at the beginning, her brother had the half face, but he didn't have that later. It's like, well,
I was really put off by the fact that they were just men wearing makeup. Forget it. Let's just send in the message.
So woke, drag queen.
They were all trans.
They were all drag queen. No wonder they lost and we took the country over. They were all.
I just think that it just wasn't compelling enough as a movie to go, okay, I don't find myself willing to watch it again. It wasn't really. I tried to watch it Friday night. I kept falling asleep. I had to rewatch it just yesterday. So I mean, it just didn't grab me. Is it terrible? Is it woke? No, not really, like you say, Sean. But I don't think it's that good.
No, I mean we all agree it's like a 3 out of 5. But we're discussing here if it's like woke or not, and that's the big controversy. Is like, oh, is it this woke piece of shit? No, but it's also not a masterpiece. Nobody's saying it's not. It's not Predator 1 or 2.
It is this generation Citizen Kane. That's all I'm going to say.
It's the greatest thing since the last 3 Star Wars movie.
Well, everything is. GC again, funny enough, to kind of who said, I like the way the Predator is kind of working his way up the tree of opposition. That was true.
Yeah, I did like that too.
Start out with a rabbit or a mouse or something. Then it gets to the wolf. Right. And then
rattlesnake.
I like the way it sees a rabbit, but then it sees the wolf attack the rabbit, and it's like going, no, that's the one I should be after, and stuff. And like I say, I think the whole shoulder cannon thing, I like the fact that the ship kind of dropped it off.
It's called a plasma caster, by the way, you fucking nerd. Don't you know these things?
No.
Oh, are you beating yourself up there or not? I'm not sure. Because you're the one who knows this. So.
I was referring to myself when I said
I was going to say.
Oh, dear. And somehow I feel insulted. But with it, like, I mean, in the same, actually just thinking about this now, that the same respect that the kid has to sort of bring home the lion so that he can prove he's a man, whether this was done in the same respect that the alien is, the predator is dropped off at Earth and it's kind of like, right, you need to bring back like 10 skulls.
That's established in all of the media other than like the movies that they have to do this sort of thing, and then they come back with a few trophies, and then they're.
Oh, okay. I see. I didn't realize
that was from the very first one where he pulled whipping the skull around on the spine, screaming in the tree.
No, but it's just I like the fact that the alien, the ship came down and dropped him off and then left.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like we'll be back in 5 days. If you're dead, you're dead. Type
and the
of thing,
first one, he landed the ship, didn't he? Because he blew it up and created the little mini nuke cloud.
No, that's in the second one. He blows himself up with his arm self-destruct. In the first one,
his arm thing? Okay.
Yeah. The second one, they landed. I think it's more clear in the sequel that he was that one was a new predator that was on his first hunt or whatever, because all of the elders were there and they were waiting on him and stuff.
I've just got to say, Veruca Salt has just said she hasn't seen it yet.
It's too bloody for her. She won't like it.
No. Basically, they become friends at the end, and they live happily ever after.
They signed a peace treaty, and then the predators broke it.
Yeah, the predator
and then took all the corn and shot them.
The predator brought alcohol and some beads.
That's right.
And defeated the entire tribe.
He created Manhattan so his descendants would be able to kill Danny Glover.
But how
they
big
did
is
Detroit first because Detroit is an Indian name, but it got too wild later, even too dangerous for the predators. So they had to.
No, don't go there, man.
They had to go to LA.
She's just asked, should she watch it? Yeah, give it a go.
It's pretty. She's my friend. It's probably too gory for you.
I didn't think it was.
She doesn't like any blood.
I didn't think it was particularly that bad, and then I feel bad at that because it's kind of like my brain is so conditioned towards. Well, speaking of which, me and Sean have been talking about the worst movies ever made, so I'm thinking. Ain't no sallow.
If me or Phil says, "Oh, it's not that gory," then it's probably still beyond.
Honestly, I'm kind of with you because, believe it or not, the gore was
toned down.
It was a sanitized. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the original Predator versus this one, the original Predator feels way more gory, even though I don't think it is, because it was all CGI blood and it's over the top. Like when they pop like balloons, it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't take that as seriously as I do what I saw in the original Predator.
Yeah, like when you see the arm. First of all, there's no exploding
Apollo
head
Creed's
with the
arm
brain.
Falls off.
Yeah, there's nothing like that in it. The most gore we see is the Predator's gore, and that's
all green neon nonsense.
Yeah, because they can get away with that with the ratings, can't they? As long as blood's not red, you can get away with the ratings on that.
I would love, like, just within the confines of the story, the dumb things I think about, it's like you're an Indian chief in 1719, and one of your squaws who wants to be a warrior comes in carrying an alien head covered in green glowing shit. What was he thinking?
Although I was thinking to myself, they're sort of going, yeah, what's that? Did you make that while you were out there? What is it? Is it paper mache? I don't know what. Show me a bear's head, then I'll believe you.
We're buffering again, fellas. Is everything okay? Yeah.
It looks okay here.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, maybe it's just my end then. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I was like, I wonder if they're just like, that's one of our gods or something that, like why wouldn't they accept?
Oh, when you think that, like.
When you think like rocks, if you think rocks have spirits, why wouldn't you be just accept an alien's head, dropped in front of you?
Maybe, but you gotta admit that was for an Indian in 1719 who's probably barely seen a white man.
Yeah,
it's pretty. You'd have a few questions.
There was no sexual Tyrannosaurus in the movie. Just one watching it.
Nor was there any slack-jawed
Yeah, Joker. Oh, do you know what? I've just suddenly, oh God, I'm such an idiot. I've just suddenly got the joke there where somebody said, yeah, but how big was her pussy? Such an idiot. My brain is just so full of movie information. Yeah. Oh, goodness me. Oh, dear. Your friend needs to be sent. This is the friend who said it was better than Predator. Your friend needs to be sent naked into the streets of Aberdeen on a cold day in January and whipped with tree branches. That is a bit harsh, but justified.
I was say. What did I could just somebody's just whipping a guy. He's got big old blood welts on the back. It's like, what did he do?
What did he do?
He liked a movie better than another movie.
Is this guy a child molester? No, he said that this movie wasn't as good as this other movie.
Holy shit.
Somebody made the comment here, and he said that I like the fact that her brother wasn't a simp, which I didn't write. I said that I like the fact that her brother wasn't a complete arsehole. It's woke and preachy, but nothing.
It wasn't preachy, man. Where was the preachiness? What?
But I mean, no. I said that I like the fact with her brother that it wasn't.
I know. I
didn't expect him to be a simp, but I kind of expected him to be an arsehole, like a lot of these sort of kind of brothers are in these things. Where he was actually quite cool as a brother. When she kind of joins the hunt at the beginning, and he's like, "Oh, come on, look, she's got medical skills and stuff like that," and he was kind of okay, as opposed to just, "Oh, this is my dumb sister" type of thing. Yeah. And so he wasn't
he wanted to hit it. He wanted to hit
it. Offset, obviously.
It's a small tribe,
the bad CG. Yeah. The bad CG was terribly distracting. I
watched it on my phone, so I mean, I don't think it was that.
The way movies are meant to be enjoyed.
You really got that cinematic experience.
It's a foldable
watching it on my phone.
It's bigger than that. Say it's a big phone.
Oh, that makes the difference.
It does.
You really get the full letterbox experience.
Here we go. Look.
Yes.
So the movie was shit. Predator had her dead to rights in 4 different times, and she had weapons in her hands and directly attacking him, and he let her go on 2 specific occasions. Apparently the Predator is a sexist because he didn't see her as a threat because she's a woman. Don't let anyone fool you. Predators have attacked women with weapons in other movies. Only exception was P2, where the woman was pregnant and he didn't. But in this, she's constantly attacking hang on a minute. But in this, she is constantly on attack mode, along with her male tribe.
No, he didn't attack. He didn't attack the Mexican chick in the first one because he didn't have a weapon. That was No. No, I'm talking about the very first one. The prisoner they had.
Yeah.
Says no, there's no sport in it. That's why he didn't.
Oh wow, Arnie's joined us. Oh well, it was just Yoda doing an impression.
Did you see that? Did you see how it should have ended? He's like, it's like, they did attack you because you weren't holding a weapon. They're so sporting. It's like, well, then maybe we should drop our weapons, shouldn't we? It's like, oh, that's a good idea. They throw down their weapons. The Predator jumps out. He's like handing them their guns. Like, no, you keep it. Damn it.
Madding said it was.
Then you can see the poor Predator conflicted, going, "Oh, I need to kill them, but they haven't got any weapons. I don't know what to do."
Shit, I guess I better go home. Madding says that he thought the scenes with the Predator let her get away were well explained. I agree. I thought that all of those scenes were explained. First, she was on the chain; she couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, he did. You're shooting somebody chained up. That's not sporting.
Yeah,
and they put that in the.
Then she takes that stuff that makes their body cool, temperature drop. That was explained. Yeah. I mean, that's scientifically probably impossible.
Yeah, that was like
explained.
Lowers your body temperature that much? I don't think so.
Yeah, within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But it was explained,
Another comment here. There's one from Sean Bird, but I'm not going to read it because he's just full of swearing and offensiveness. He said, he quoted me by saying, it is a little preachy, but it wasn't rammed down your throat preachy. Then the person said, I felt that her wanting to be a warrior probably didn't happen. What her wanting to be a warrior or something rammed down your throat wasn't preachy. Doesn't get that.
He had a stroke while we're in the middle of it. Sorry, buddy. We wish you health and you full recovery.
But no, I mean, I can imagine that there were women in tribes as they were growing up wanting to be like their brothers and wanted to go out and do the hunt and everything else.
They just wouldn't let them. They would have just beat them.
Yeah, beat them up.
They didn't. I mean,
I'll be right back. I got to take this dog out. Hold on. Go ahead with that.
The point is that it just wasn't really done, because I mean, you're talking a harsh life. People don't they try to put like what it's like now, like you sit in your air conditioned house with no cougars coming your way or bears, it's like no, that's not how it works. You got to keep the women protected and safe, because otherwise the tribe ain't carrying on.
To some extent as well, like I say, I imagine the women would have been able to fight, because if all the guys are away hunting whatever and a lion attacks, what do? You can't phone them up and sort of say, "Oh, can you get back here?" Because there's a tiger attacking us, or a lion, or whatever it is.
Well, I mean, there were strict social hierarchies for survival set up in tribes. Now, I'm not a scholar or a historical scholar. I can't tell you every single one, but it's. This isn't like just the Indians that were like this. This was endemic across all civilizations, before we started getting the niceties of modern technology. It just, for survival's sake, women had to be protected. And it's the way of the world. I mean, men were more expendable. That's just the way it always has been. And that's why women were stayed in the tribe and in the hearth. Animals and stuff didn't really come around the fires, and that there would have been a lot more fires within the tribe.
But still, like I say,
I'm sure women got killed. I'm sure they got attacked and it happened. I'm not saying it didn't. And they probably had enough to, like a spear or something, but not as a matter of course. It just only in emergencies break glass. You know what I mean?
No. But I mean, again, I still think that the women would have been able to hold their own. And obviously, and now and then, a woman's going to come up who's going to go, "No, I'm going to be chief of the tribe one day," and very distinct roles. Again, that's why I didn't think, that's what Veruca Salt has just said, yes, very distinct gender roles. That's why I didn't think it was woke, because it was in a hierarchy and a whole, not ecology, that's not the right word, but it was set up in a system where men were the hunters and women stayed at home. There was no, there wasn't anybody screaming equality and everything else. Everybody kind of knew their place in what they had to do. The chief of the tribe was the chief of the tribe, and everybody listened to him. So I was very much like I say, I didn't think it was preachy at all in the movie. And that's the end of the comments. Thank God. But like I say, whether people are expecting it to be woke and then don't like the fact that it's not woke, and maybe that is something, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not, I know, like, Pocahontas, she went to the New World and things like that. There's Lewis and Clark were who was it? They established, but they were led by somebody. I'm trying to remember who. My history is terrible. I'm sure somebody knows. Sacagawea. She, so I'm not saying that women in Native American tribes didn't do things that were outside the norms. That never happened, but it was outside the norm. It was not typical. So,
but again, if they had just gone with the guys fighting the Predator, they would have just remade Predator.
Which in essence is what they kind of did.
Well,
I mean, it's not like.
I'm just saying,
the problem. It's like, this is, the original Predator was somewhat novel. I mean, even the second Predator wasn't that great. It's fun for what it is, because the characters are colorful enough. I mean, you got Bill Paxton, running his mouth. You're going to have a good movie. But overall, the first one to me was a one and done. And after that, it's not really ever been able to do anything with that, because we don't know anything about. I mean, there's nothing to the Predators. They're basically Jason.
Well, that's not true.
No, I'd say there's
hunters,
a bit more to them
I
than
get
Jason.
it, but I mean, we don't know anything about their society. We've never seen their home planet. I mean, does he come home, put up the newspaper, and his wife,
is a brilliant idea. We
maybe
need a spin-off of the Predators back on their home planets. That's what we want to see now. That's what I want to see. A whole series of the Planeters.
Ridley Scott makes the next Predator movie.
Yeah.
And it's about how the alien turns into a... It's about how the alien in its final metamorphosis turns into a predator.
I want to be a hunter just like my dad. You can't be a hunter. You're a woman. I don't care. And yeah, we find out that all the predators that have ever landed on Earth have all been female.
Predator goes home to abuse his wife. It's like, stop your clicking. Bam, bam.
That's one thing that did annoy me throughout the film is the fact that kind of every time there was...
They went a little too much with the clicks.
You had to have that clicking in the background somewhere. And I'm thinking, if he's a hunter... Even, I could hear that. This is like the worst hunter in the world.
They went overboard with the clicking.
Is that a predator or a dolphin? With the clicking. Right. Okay. So are we done with that? Are we now going to?
No. Let's talk about the Easter eggs.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of Easter eggs in there.
Yeah. The first
the Easter bunny.
We get the if it bleeds, we can kill it line. Then she gets stuck in the mud and crawls out and leans up against the roots, much like Arnold does in the first one. And then, of course, the flintlock musket pistol. And then the stinger at the end shows that the tribe has done, cave paintings or whatever. And then we see more of the Predator ships coming back.
More of the Predator ships coming back. I will give them credit that they didn't lean into the... I remember they didn't do too many berries, which was nice. They had the one line.
Yeah.
And then they brought back the gun, but I think that's going to be as much of a plot point as anything. I think they're going to...
Yeah, I think so too.
It's kind of funny that when I heard the line, my brain immediately went, right, are they taking a mick or is that just a homage? It's kind of... If I enjoyed the film, it's a homage. If I didn't like it, well, it's just ripping it off and it's bloody stupid.
It's not... It's not a... It's kind of a... I mean, the line is not like... It's kind of a natural thing to say given the circumstances.
I
don't feel like it sticks out that much. And the rest of it didn't have that much of that kind of thing. I don't feel. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't have a problem with any of that stuff. I thought it was fine.
When you said about Easter eggs, I didn't think they were Easter eggs. Like I say, I got the bit where she was covered in mud and I got the other one. The gun I thought was the only kind of Easter egg. He's buggered off again. He's buggered off. So yeah, but like I say, it's going to be interesting with the gun then, because like I say, because it is at the end of Predator 2, isn't it? That the Predator gives Danny Glover it's Danny Glover, not Donald Glover, the gun. So that is strange, and he's giving it to him. Obviously, like the sequel will just be. It'll be 4 minutes long, and it'll be the ship coming down, and just somebody going up to him, whipping the gun out of his hand, and just flying off again.
No, I believe it'll be.
That was not his to give away.
No, I think it'll be. I think it'll be a setup for like the AVP, where the Japanese girl joins the hunters and becomes like one of their tribe for a while. The Predators did have some Easter eggs to the first movie too, by the way. The minigun. Adrian Brody carries the same knife that the Indian does in Predator.
Yeah,
that he cuts his chest with. There's a few similarities there, but
it's again, the movie it's okay. I just wasn't. I'll never watch it again.
I am interested in watching it in the original Comanche. I'm interested in that, and I will give that a go.
Why?
I don't know. Like I say, it just might make a tone.
I guarantee you watch it for about 5-6 minutes, and you're like, that's enough.
I speak Comanche, so
you barely. You
can't even speak English.
I was just say, English is like your second language, and you don't got a first.
Well, no, do you know what? I watched something the other day, and it had in there this guy, and he was pretending he was Native American, and so the way he was talking was. No, me come from culture from far away. In the same way that, what's his name, Dory speaks Whale. That's how I speak Comanche. Yes, I live in teepee on many plain desert land.
Do you speak it like you speak Italian, where you just add O at the end of all the words?
Oh, it's me, the Predator.
I want some pepperoni and I'm a pizza.
Spaghetti. Lasagna.
Spaghetti-o. Oh, wait a minute. That's
SpaghettiOs. Oh, ayo. A-tone.
Chef Boyardee. Hey.
And we've lost our Italian viewers.
All right, I'm part Italian. It's fine.
Okay.
What about that reminds me of Apocalypto. That's one movie that was at first it annoyed me, but then I was like, oh, okay, it's fine. That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, I saw it.
I don't remember it.
And
yeah, I've seen it once. I couldn't tell you a thing about it. It didn't have any Jews in it. I remember.
But no Jews died in it, so you didn't care.
No, because it was directed by Mel Gibson. That's what I meant.
Oh yeah, that's why there's no Jews in
it. Okay, so let's.
He's only killed one Jew in his movies.
Yeah, that's
very particular one, but just the one.
The other Jew killed Jew in that movie.
He turned it into a snuff film, but yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Jesus, as it's referred to.
Anyway, moving swiftly on. Moving swiftly on. Veruca said she's half Italian. Which half? The top half or the bottom half?
The lasagna. Which half has the lasagna in it? That might be an all new low for us.
I'm actually a mix of German and Italian, so I've got 2 of the 3 Axis powers going on here.
Oh wow, you really hate them.
I'm 2/3 of the way full fascist.
No wonder you hate this woke movie stuff so much. You're such a bigot.
I am.
I don't have any excuse for being a bigot. I'm just a regular dude.
You're Southern.
I'm Southern.
Close enough.
Veruca Soul said, I can take some Italian jokes. I can't think of any off the top of my hand. No, we'll come back to that. So let's talk about DC. So at the moment, how would you describe the situation in DC?
So let's talk about what's happened. So we got this Discovery. Warner was a part of AT&T DirecTV and all, right? It was their entertainment division, which included HBO Max and all these other things. And AT&T was losing their ass on it. And I remember I worked for a company that a few years ago about this time that did a lot of telecommunications type wholesaling. They sold like cell towers. So they did a lot of work with AT&T. And AT&T was...
Are those the same cell towers that cause cancer?
No, those came later.
No, the cell towers cause COVID, Phil, you dumbass.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it's not cancer, COVID, yeah.
Yeah, the 5G towers killed Kennedy. So...
And this is the John Wilkes Booth tower.
No, that's the Abe Lincoln. That was the 3G tower.
No,
3.
Yeah, 1G maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. It's all there, people.
Anyway,
somebody's got a bulletin board that makes it all work. The point is that they were wanting to get it. They believed that just doing the communications was not enough. It was becoming commoditized, which it is. And they wanted to get into content because that's where they thought the money was going to be, is putting out content. Well, 4 years later, they said, we got to get the fuck out of these woke narcissistic weirdos because they're putting out stuff that is killing us. And you can't,
crap, yeah.
And it got oversaturated. You can't keep up with all these different streaming services that are putting out stuff. It's too much. You're competing with Prime, you're competing with Netflix now. Got Disney Plus has their own, and Paramount Plus, and so on.
Last Movie Outpost is starting one next year.
Yeah, and we'll close it down the week after. So they got out, they divested their stuff, and Discovery snapped up all of Warner properties. That included HBO and various other things. And this David Zaslav, he seems to be very based. And he's gone through with his, like the angel of death, and he's just firing all kinds of people from Warner and HBO, that kind of stuff. And he understands that these properties are valuable. And DC is probably right now at the top of the properties that Warner has that are valuable. You can maybe put Harry Potter in there, but that's kind of owned by J.K. Rowling, so it's not quite the same. But they outright own DC. And so they were already in the middle of making Batgirl. Batgirl was a $90 million project.
And that number just keep going up. I heard 70, but
I heard 100 million last.
It's hard to tell.
It was a 300 billion pound project. Yeah,
even if it's 70 million, this is horrendous amount of money. But I mean, it's a superhero movie, so I'm going to say 90. It's probably closer to that. And they showed it to test screenings, and it was so bad that Zaslav just shelved it. And now he is firing the head of Warner and various others that were embracing all this woke stuff. And he's basically putting the kibosh on the DC EU, at least as we know it. I think he's part of the reason why the Berlanti-verse is falling apart. And, so that's
what, sorry?
The TV shows, The Flash, The Supergirl, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
That those things are coming to an end. And I think that he wants to reinvigorate the brand by bringing back, because they were going to put in Supergirl and Batgirl along with Wonder Woman as the big three and get rid of those problematic Batman and Superman. And he's put a stop to all that. And so shelving a $90 million movie, saying that we got to cut our losses, that the marketing and everything. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't just throw it out on Warner or on. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, okay, this is purely rumor, but it's kind of a rumor that somebody who has proved themselves in the past. But the rumor is that in the new Batgirl, apparently it was starring Michael Keaton.
It was.
And apparently what they did in the movie was kill off Michael Keaton as Batman to have him replaced by this new gender fluid one, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But